I know this is strange, but I feel just a touch of fall in the air. Here we are at the end of August, but I feel it.
I did too this morning.
I feel it just a little bit.
Little breeze.
Little breezy, and I guess it's because we got some things coming in this time of year that just reminds us of fall, as corn and winter squash and things like that. So here we are. Welcome to the Row by Row Gardening Show, the best dadgum gardening show on the internet, where we talk about gardening, a little bit of cooking, and growing your own food. Now sit back and enjoy. Hey, I'm Greg.
I'm Sheila.
Whoa, I got my glasses. We got a serious show if I got my glasses. We are talking about what you need to direct seed and what you need to transplant as of the fall of the year, because we're getting there real quick. So we're gonna give you some information on that. And we have got probably the best garden seed storage hack you've ever heard of coming up in the show, so stay tuned to that. I was blown away. It's so simple, but I was completely blown away by this right here. So we got that coming up. But first things first is we got Jimmy Red corn, folks, one of my favorite things to grow, and I got a video coming out on this pretty soon. Our Jimmy Red corn did exceptionally well this year. It's just a beautiful corn. You've shelled some back in there this morning.
I did. I kind of got carried away. It's just so
mesmerizing.
It is mesmerizing. I might shell some later on while you're talking.
Yep. Going to make some cornmeal, going to make some grits, and maybe some corn flour out of some of that. So we're excited about that. The one that I shelled on the video, if you watch the video, you'll see. Otherwise, I put it in a pillowcase and put it in the freezer. Got to kill those bugs, and the freezer will do that. So when we pull them out, we'll have it ready to grind. So we got
How
all that
long
coming
will
up.
you before we can do that?
I think we could do it now. I think it's 3 or 4 days. It stays in the freezers before you can do that. So
I didn't see any bugs when I was shelling this.
no, Sheila, but that is the problem. Now this is a little dirty secret nobody wants to know. But all corn has little corn weevil eggs in it there, and if you don't stop that, then you're gonna have corn weevils. Now the commercial people will spray it with insecticide, or they will fumigate it to take care of that issue. But we, being homesteaders, don't have a forward of all that. So
Do you know
just put it
in
the freezer.
Grocery store food, they're allowed so many, I watched a video on this last night, a certain percentage of bugs and even animal poop in our food that you buy at the grocery store.
I could have told you all about that. I knew that years ago. I could have told you about that.
That was awful.
So to give you an example, chocolate is allowed so much protein.
Coffee is too.
Coffee is too.
It's allowed so much animal poop.
There is no protein in chocolate. So they're allowed so much insects parts to be in chocolate. It's kind of scary, but it's the world we live in. By the way, I'm off chocolate. I'm off sweets. I'm back on my health.
You back on your diet.
Back on my health. I stepped on school. I said
You got on the scales.
And I said, Lord have mercy, what has happened? What has happened? So anyhow, at all-time high. And I said, now how did this happen to me in such a short period of time? So I'm back on my eating healthy regimen here, and I'm changing it up just a little bit this time, but I got to get some of this weight off and be a healthier human being.
You're trying to do something you can sustain.
You know, glad you brought that up. With these here, and we don't call them diets anymore because that's a bad word. Lifestyle changes, whatever. You got to make sure you do one you can sustain. And that's where I failed in the past, is not doing one you can sustain.
I think I told you so.
You did tell me that, but I had to see it for myself. So for all you people out there that struggle with your weight, as I do, you'll understand. Up till I was 40 years old, I had no problems whatsoever. And then all of a sudden,
boom,
ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Speaking of eating healthy, we're going to grow a lot of fall crops this year, as you should too. We enjoy growing fall crops. I will say the only thing is, I haven't seen a lot of whiteflies right now, so we're having a tree.
I was picking the okra this morning. This okra right here.
Yep.
Covered in whiteflies.
Yep. I didn't spray that yesterday afternoon. I've got to spray that. I forgot about it. I sprayed everything else yesterday afternoon.
Somebody hadn't picked it either.
Somebody has not picked it either, but we talked about that. We're going to do better. But I forgot about it. I've been gardening on some other issues in the greenhouse things, and things slip by you sometimes. But what do you direct seed in the fall, and what do you grow as transplants? That's what we're covering today, to give you some insight. Now, these are not hard set rules. These are some things I would tell you I always transplant, and there's some things like always direct seed, and there's some that'll go either way there. We're going to cover all that. All right, so direct seeding things is things that you grow in your greenhouse or seed starting kit that you grow up to transplants, as we see right here. This is a flat I started the 1st of the month so I can have it ready to transplant the 1st of September. So I've got cabbage, I've got red cabbage, I got regular cabbage, stonehead cabbage, and I got Brussels sprouts. Let me make sure what this is. And I got a new crop right here that I wasn't supposed to show anybody, but I'm going to show them. This is a new type of broccoli. As actually the name of it.
Oh.
Yeah, Asperbrock. We trialed this out. We seen this in the garden in Ohio. This is one of those broccolis that makes those little tiny broccoli heads. Now I had discounted this. We've been pitched this by the seed breeding companies 2 or 3 times, and I discounted. I said, why would anybody want to eat a little small broccoli head when they can grow a big broccoli head? We was blown away when we tried this out in the field. So we're going to trial it out, more likely carry it. But this is a new variety here I'm trialing. I'm going to turn this around where nobody can see that. How about that? But anyhow, we got red cabbage that I like to grow. We got stonehead, which is one I'm growing this year. I haven't grown before, I believe. And then we got Brussels sprouts, which is the jade cross. I've grown those several times.
So how much longer before these are ready?
Normally about 4 weeks. So I believe it was a little bit after the 1st of August when I got these direct seeded, and I probably didn't fertilize them early enough, but at this point right here, they will jump and hump. So probably in about 2 weeks, these will be ready.
Jump and hump.
Jump and hump. Those will be ready in 2 weeks right here to transplant. I've already started shooting the juice to them, the 20-20-20, and they will harden off here and be ready in no time once they get to this point. So we got these right here, and that's where I'm at. Now I will start my other stuff, cauliflower and broccoli and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna start it at 1st of this coming month. And normally speaking, if you're a pretty good plant grower, you can grow these cool weather crops off this time of year in 4 weeks.
So what's the advantage of doing transplants?
The advantage of it is most about all these brassicas have small seeds, and your carrots have small. Well, your carrots is a different story. Let me back to that. All these brassicas that we're going to transplant have small seeds, and we normally just want one plant. So it's nearly impossible to get it seeded out directly. And plus, your weed competition sometimes will take over and give you a lot of trouble there. You shelling corn.
I know,
You
distracting.
Yeah. So
It's
that
kind
is
of addicting.
No, it's addictive. I get out there by myself sometimes and get me a bucket of corn and just shell it. You know the moisture content's right when it'll pop off like that.
A pot right off.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Sorry, digress there.
So your things that I like to transplant, and we're going to go over the list right here, is collards. Now collards is one that can go either way. I've done them both ways there, but I got where I like to transplant my collards because I like to grow some of the unique varieties here. And to get collards spaced out right, it just works better for me. Kale. Kale's another one in the past we might have direct seeded that you can go both ways, but I've had better luck transplanting kale. Broccoli, of course. Cabbage, of course, you want to transplant. Now this one here is one of those go either way. I got where I do all transplants on these, but I have done direct seed kohlrabi. Kohlrabi works better for me if I transplant it. Leeks, of course. Onions, of course, you want to transplant onions. Unless you're growing the bunching onions. If you're growing the bunching onions, you can grow those for seeds. But if you're growing those big bubbling onions, then you want to do it for transplants. By the way, while we're on the subject, nailed down this morning our Vidalia onion plants, and within about a few days' time, I suspect by next week we're going to have them for pre-sale. And these are Vidalia type onions grown in the Vidalia area there that we're going to have for pre-sale. We're going to have 2 whites, and these are jumbo varieties here, and a red. We're going to have those pre-sale next week. Excited about that. Back to the subject at hand.
So
Brussels sprouts. I got Brussels sprouts. You always want to do Brussels sprouts and cauliflower. That gives you a pretty good indication there of what we like to direct seed.
So another important thing is when you do this, in the wintertime, do you harden them off like you do in the summer?
You can somewhat, yeah. especially if you got time. Now, if I don't have time and I need to get them on there, I'll go ahead and move them in. It's not as important.
So you don't have as much transplant shock?
You don't. Normally, when
in
the
the
weather
wintertime?
cools off and you're having that beautiful fall weather, you don't have as much transplant shock. All right, so let's go over the either.
The either.
The either is when you can get by either way. That we're not gonna pass judgment on you if you do either way. And some of these we've already mentioned: kale, Swiss chard, collards, lettuce, turnips. Let's say something about turnips. Let me say something about turnips. This is my rule on turnips. If I'm growing the all-top turnips, I normally transplant them. But if I'm growing just a regular turnip, I direct seed them. All right, and beets. Now beets, go ahead. I'm sorry, I get all excited here about fall planting.
Some of the beets that, I forgot what they're called.
Monogerm and multigerm.
Yes.
Yep.
So some you want to transplant and then others you don't.
Yeah, so it works better if you're going to transplant them. Now, we went back and forth on this over the years about transplanting beets and direct seeding. My preferred method is to direct seed them.
But you got to thin them.
But we want to eat more of the greens this year, so we're in the process of eating more greens and then we are roots as well.
What you got to eat there?
What I have to eat here is
I'll wrap it up really well.
all wrapped up really well. Everybody's going to find this unusual. Now this is red curry squash that we grew back in the springtime.
And the other is, should we tell or let them guess?
Should tell. Yeah.
Is sweet potato leaves. Now this is a little wilted because I picked it this morning.
But it's an
But
Asian.
you have never ate this.
I've never ate this, but I've heard a lot of people, it's an Asian dish. A lot of Asians love this right here, and I've tasted it for the very first time ever, stir-fried sweet potato leaves. Seasoned, I hope. That's off the chain.
I took Carrie some back there earlier.
I had no idea. Explain how you cook them.
Oh, what do they taste like? I cannot pinpoint or compare them to any other green. So I just put some good old bacon grease in there, some onions and garlic and sauteed that. And then I put some balsamic vinegar and some ginger and just wilted them down.
I don't know, but that's off the chain. And we got lots of these growing.
We do. Although I had a time cleaning them because somebody cut the grass beside them.
Mm-hmm.
We need a good rain to wash some of that grass off. You might have a little grass in there.
It doesn't have any bitter like a mustard would have. None whatsoever.
It's not sweet.
It's not sweet.
It's not earthy.
It's not earthy. It's good.
Good. So
I can't explain it.
while you're eating that, I'm going to talk about, we had a guest last week, and you'll be seeing some videos, but Tracy and Jean from Just Dig It Farms came to visit us, and she talked about the way she does her seed organization for this time of year, and we're going to throw up some pictures. So she has just a plastic container, and she has tabs for every month and what she's going to plant that month. She does this at the beginning of the year for the whole year.
What was interesting to me, though, is she had this thing set up in the folders. You can see the pictures there. But she had a card inside every month showing her, reminding her of what she needed to do every month as far as direct seeding and transplant.
Right, and then so she's got a monthly tab, and then she's got a card. The monthly tab shows everything she's going to plant, and then she's got another card that shows what she's going to direct seed and what she's going to transplant. And it was all organized. I just thought that was the coolest idea. She actually takes this out with her to her greenhouse and to her garden, and this is what she keeps her seeds in a top of a closet in a cool, dry place.
Imagine not having your radish seed and your beet seed just all mixed in. But they're in the folder of the month that you need to plant them.
Wow.
So all your thinking is done for you.
Oh, that was pretty cool. How's that red curry?
Red curry is delicious as always.
I think that surpasses a sweet dumpling for me. I do.
No, it didn't for me.
Carrie said it did for her too.
Really? I love the sweet dumpling. And delicata is my favorite. But it's good. But I didn't surpass that.
So you want to move on to direct seeding?
We got to finish up beets. You got me all messed
beets,
up here. We
okay.
didn't even nearly get through with
Okay,
beets.
finish
You got
beets.
me all based on beets with my eating here. You know I was hungry because I've been trying to cut back on my eating. I didn't eat nothing this morning. You knew I was starving to death and you threw that food out there and got me all excited.
Well, it's getting cold.
Yeah, all right. So let's have my notes back. And then grabbed up all my notes.
Oh, you got a whole page.
Ah,
I didn't know you
okay.
was going to do that.
On beets, you can do it both ways. You can direct seed or you can transplant. Greg's preferred method is to direct seed. Now, beets come as a monogerm and a multigerm. Just about most all your beets are multigerm. And that means that you're going to get 3 to 4 plants per seed as they sprout up there, which works fine, but it makes things a little crowded. There is such thing as a monogerm where you only get 1 plant per seed. They're rare, but they are such thing there. We have one, if you're interested in it, called Moneta. M-O-N-E-T-A. Moneta is a monogerm variety.
Moneta or Moneta?
Moneta?
Yeah.
Moneta, however you want to pronounce it. So we have that with this monogerm. If you're going to do transplants, I would recommend a monogerm so that you only get 1 plant per cell. And you could space it out there. Now, if you do this, you're going to get bigger bulbs and probably bigger plants than if you direct seed with the multigerm. I like to harvest the greens, and you do need to go in there and thin them somewhat if you do the multigerm direct seed. It's just part of life. You're going to have to thin out some
Just
beets.
like carrots.
But that's okay. Carrots also is something that we love, and we're going to have to do a complete show on carrots. We love to direct seed our carrots and overwinter those.
We.
I'm part of it.
How many carrots have you grown?
A lot. I'm not known as the carrot guru, but I can grow a carrot, okay?
Okay.
You do a better job than I do.
Maybe we'll have a carrot challenge.
We should have that, a carrot challenge. Let's get back on. And we have gotten all off today. Okay. Garden.
We didn't talk about which ones to direct seed.
No, we didn't, did we? I got to eat next time before we do the show. So you get these groceries out here. All right, to direct seed is going to be these right here. Now these I have seen done as transplants, but I don't recommend it. Beans, direct seed your beans. Beets, we talked about that. Carrots, we talked about. Always direct seed your carrots.
Any root crop is best.
I would agree with that. I can't think of one.
Because you don't want to disturb those roots
Right,
when you
I can't
transplant.
think of one that you would want to transplant.
Well, I mean, beets is a root crop. You said you could
I
do
know,
those.
but you could, but I don't.
Okay.
Radish, always direct seed your radish. Spinach, I would direct seed spinach because you need those for you got corn everywhere, don't you?
Yeah, that's all right.
Turnips, we talked about that. I have direct seeded some. Transplanted some all tops, but pretty much for the general direct seed your turnips there. Mustard, always direct seed my mustard, and zucchini or any type of summer squash, always direct seed.
What about winter squash?
Winter squash, I do both ways. So if I'm just trying to do an early crop, or if I got something that I'm trying to take out of a bed and turn a bed real quick and I don't have time trying to get a jump on things, I will transplant every now. I just soon to do a direct seed on winter squash.
Okay.
Now, direct seeding, most of these crops grow off a little bit better because they're just meant to be that way. These root crops, you just don't disturb them, as we say. So it's
Less labor.
It's less labor. You don't have to worry about a greenhouse or seed starting supplies and all that kind of stuff.
Riskier because you got weather.
Got weather to
Weed
deal.
pressure.
Weed pressure. You got to deal with that, and with carrots that could be an issue, more so than probably anything else we've talked about.
Be prepared to thin.
Got to do some of that. Get that on those knees and work it out. Yep.
but they start and finish in the same place.
That's right. So you don't have as much real estate you're taking up as far as greenhouse space and garden space to grow off those crops. So there you have it, folks. Direct seed or transplant. We laid it out there for you what our opinion is to do. Now it's time for you to get started putting some of these crops in for the fall. We got our Brussels sprouts, our cabbage, and something else I can't talk about here that we've got going in at the first of the month, and I'm fixing to fill the greenhouse up within the next 2 weeks. Broccoli, cauliflower, kohlrabi, and all that kind of stuff that we talked about today. And we will be direct seeding before long. Now,
we got some broccoli plants behind
Yep.
it.
Well,
and some
somebody gave us some broccoli plants.
peppers.
Peppers. I just planted me some peppers yesterday. Matter of fact, I was a little late on that, but I had a spot to put some. And
You think they'll have time to make?
I think they have time to make. So we'll get started on all that, and I normally and I can't wait to radish and beets. Let me tell you, I'm super excited about that. But I'm probably going to wait to around the 1st of October on some of those. Now I may jump ahead on a little bit on some of those, but for the most part, I like to wait to around the 1st of October on those.
I think I'm gonna do my carrots middle of September.
Are you going to do any in root pouches and stuff?
Yeah,
They turned out good, didn't they?
Well, last year I did it in a raised bed, but I'm gonna do it in a root pouch this time.
Yep. So what we got coming up as far as pre-sales is we got strawberry plants available for pre-sale. We got elephant garlic, we got German white garlic, and next week we're going to have our Vidalia starts up for pre-sale. So go check that out on our website and get all that ordered, because there's going to be short supplies on some of that. We anticipate selling out on all those. So, excuse me, do not wait to the last minute. And the old goat.
The old goat. We had a lot of people comment on the old goat last week.
The old goat is in the studio here somewhere, and he normally likes to hide a little bit.
Yeah, and you mispronounced.
I mispronounced it. I didn't have my glasses on. Look here, I do. People, if I mispronounce something, though, it's either 2 reasons. I couldn't pronounce it to start with, or didn't have my glasses on. So we're drawing for the old goat. If you find the old goat, send your answer, comment your answer, and then if we draw your name the following week, we'll send you a coveted gift from hosstools. Tammy Furry. Let me put it down here where Tammy can see her name.
F-E-R-E.
Tammy is the winner this week. She found the old goat. So Tammy, send your shipping address in to custserve@hosstools.com, and we will get you a prize in the mail.
And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm saving all these weekly winners, and right before Christmas, we're gonna do a big drawing.
Great idea. Yep.
And with a big prize.
Big prize.
Big old prize. So be sure to put your in the comments.
Garden Spotlight. You go ahead.
Garden Spotlight this week is Carol Avant. She's been a customer a long time. She is Marietta, Florida, Zone 8. And she sent us some pictures of her momentum bush beans, some Tom multiplying onions, some lady cream peas, Halcinator, Bella Rosa, Tachi, Invincible tomato. What else do you know about Miss Carol?
Carol's a great friend of ours, been a customer for a long time. We just love Carol to death. She always posting in our Robo group. So, Carol, I was excited when I seen pictures of your garden. Excuse me, I got to finish eating.
Put you on the spot there, didn't I?
I know. So Carol's got some things going on in her garden here. She's using the tarp there to keep her spot ready to go for her next planting areas to see. And Carol seems to have some of the same issue that I got. I have some farming issues, and I see she's got some of the little rabbit fencing up there, or the chicken wire fence is what I use, which is what I got around one of my garden spots.
Hortenovatralis going on there.
Yep, as we use too. So she's pretty much gardening the same way we do. And these little rows here looks ideal. And you know what? I know Carol is growing a lot in those little bitty spots. And it just looks like a little garden, but she's growing a lot of groceries for her family right there. Yep.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Carol.
All right, Halcinator one more week.
Halcinator one more week, and we're going to be choosing the winner there. had some huge interest in the Hostnator contest, and that is the Hostnator tomato. All right, so I got 2 leaks I got to do here, okay?
2 leaks.
I'm gonna leak some information here that I normally
okay.
wouldn't give out.
All right.
One of it is, we got Hostnator series that we're working on is going to be a complete line of vegetables that's going to be in the Hostnator line. And these are particular varieties that we've done a lot of research with and work with the seed companies that grow extremely well.
New seed.
This new seeds is coming out. It's going to be the Hostnator series, and these things have got disease packages on that really grow well and help everybody to be
When
successful.
can they expect to see some of this?
It's coming within the next few weeks, Sheila. I'm so glad you asked. Yep. Well, this has been a project we've been working on for a while, but our whole thing is to help you be successful. So if we can work with some of these varieties that you can be so much more successful with, that is our goal, because we have certain diseases that we have to deal with, and we look for varieties that are good to eat, but are also you can be successful growing them.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that coming. One more thing we got coming is,
Ah,
let me see if I can find it right. See that right there?
I see that right there.
That right there is going to be something coming this next year that's going to be in some of our, it's going to
Actually,
be
in December.
maybe not. We got some good things that's coming. It's going to be freebies. It's going to be going in your order in the next few months. So excited about that. So we're doing a lot of great things around here, and we got some new seeds coming on that we're going to be launching within the next few weeks. We're getting them in now. Exciting stuff, and maybe some stuff that you would never thought about. Yep.
All right. Corny joke.
Ready?
Ready? Why couldn't the flower ride its bicycle?
Because it was indeterminate.
A flower?
You said, oh, a flower. I thought you said tomato. You said a flower?
Yeah.
Why couldn't a flower? I don't know.
Because its petals was broke.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was a good one.
Petals was broke. All right. Thank you for joining us. We hope you had as good a time as we did this evening. Got y'all set up for fall gardening. Direct seed or transplant.
Cookie some
Man.
sweet potato leaves.
Yep. Awesome. All right, folks. Now it's time for you to get off that couch and get outside and get dirty.